Hello from St. Bernard's. It's Pastor Beth, and I'd like to introduce to you not only the scripture for this month, but a new offering, a new opportunity called Scripture as Art. It was designed by a colleague of mine, and it's been sitting in the back of my mind as something to share and engage with all of you. So I hope you'll invite a friend or perhaps share the scripture at home with family and just imagine yourself in it. Play with some art materials and just spend some time with God. Please note that these can be any sort of art materials. You have a paper and pencil, you could write a rhyme, or use something that I love, which is crayons. Crayons are wonderful. They're very meditative. You can layer the colors, or just, something you haven't tried before. Colored tissue paper, many different opportunities are available to try out. Our scripture for this month comes from the Gospel of Luke. You can read it to yourself. You can read it out loud. You can share it as a story with those in your household, or maybe over Zoom with a family member farther away, and imagine together. But I will read it aloud to you here as another voice for you to listen to over these next 3 weeks. The passage is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verses 28 to 36. Now, about 8 days after these sayings, Jesus took with him Peter and John and James and went up on the mountain to pray. And while Jesus was praying, the appearance of his face changed, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly, they saw 2 men, Moses and Elijah, talking to him. They appeared in glory and were speaking of his departure, which Jesus was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. Now Peter and his companions were weighed down with sleep, but since they had stayed awake, they saw his glory and the 2 men who stood with him. Just as they were leaving him, Peter said to Jesus, "Master, teacher, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 dwellings, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah," not knowing what he said. While Peter was saying this, a cloud came and overshadowed them, and they were terrified as they entered the cloud. Then from the cloud came a voice that said, "This is my son, my chosen. Listen to him." When the voice had spoken, Jesus was found alone. And they kept silent, and in those days told no one any of the things they had seen. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing you on February 27th at 11:30 on Zoom. Bye for now.